Top 10 Poverty Essay Topics. Poverty and its impact on global health. In this essay, you can investigate the relationship between poverty and global well-being. It might be a good idea to discuss how limited resources, lack of access to healthcare, and inadequate living conditions contribute to health disparities among poor people worldwide. Why poverty rates are higher among single black mothers. In this essay, you could focus on the factors causing higher poverty rates among single black mothers. They include systemic racism, gender inequalities, as well as restricted educational and employment opportunities. You might stress the need for targeted support and interventions to address the particular challenges faced by this demographic group. Immigrant status and poverty, how are they linked? Here, you can investigate the link between immigrant status and poverty. It might be a good idea to discuss the determinants, such as language barriers, restricted job prospects, discrimination, and lack of social support networks. You might also emphasize the significance of inclusion and integration policies to address these disparities. What is the relationship between race, poverty, and prison? In this essay, you can examine the complex relationship between race, poverty, and confinement. How do systemic inequalities, socioeconomic difficulties, and biased criminal justice systems affect marginalized communities? Another idea is to highlight the need for criminal justice reforms and public programs that address the root causes of this issue. Poverty in rural and urban America, the difference. An idea for such an essay is to compare and contrast poverty in rural and urban America. You can highlight the extraordinary challenges confronted by each setting. Another idea is to discuss factors such as employment opportunities, access to education and healthcare, infrastructure, and social support systems. Poverty is a peculiarity of the economical development. In this essay, you might want to investigate poverty as a characteristic of economic development. Examine how income inequality, uneven distribution of resources, exploitation, and inadequate social safety nets can perpetuate poverty within some economic systems. Another idea is to look at the impacts of economic policies and calls for all-embracing and sustainable development policies to alleviate poverty. Capitalism and poverty, what is the connection? In an essay on this topic, you could examine the connection between capitalism and poverty. Consider how pursuing profit, income disparities, market failures, and limited social welfare provisions can cause high poverty rates. You can also emphasize the importance of equal wealth distribution and social security nets to diminish poverty. The causes of poverty concentration in the modern world. In such an essay, you can investigate the causes behind the concentration of poverty in the contemporary world. A good idea would be to examine such factors as income inequality, lack of access to resources and opportunities, discriminatory procedures, and globalization. You might also want to emphasize the need for inclusive approaches that address these root causes to reduce poverty concentration. Consumerism, how it affects poor families in the United States. Another good idea is to analyze consumerism's impact on low-income families in the United States. You could discuss how materialistic culture and advertising contribute to poverty. You could also explore consumerism's psychological and financial consequences and emphasize the significance of promoting financial literacy and responsible consumption. Freedom from poverty as a human right and the Undeclaration of Human Rights. In this essay, you could consider poverty a human rights violation. Explore the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. How does it recognize freedom from poverty as a fundamental right? You can also stress the significance of worldwide cooperation, social justice, and targeted interventions to guarantee the realization of this right worldwide.